back in 2023, I had surgery, a failed chemo treatment, and then I had concerns about doing a radiation treatment. So there was a lot going on in my life. And I just felt like I needed a break. I joined my yoga group on a Big Island trip. And that was a weekend that changed my life. I met Doris. I sat next to her one morning and she took out a sample patch from her purse. Well, she had one on her back and I noticed it. And she took out a sample and said, here's a sample. And she just slapped it right on my back. And she said, it's natural, don't worry about it. So the day went on, and as we were getting ready to leave at the end of the day, we were walking to our car, and my friend called out to me, hey, Candace, what you doing? And I turned around and looked, and she was way behind me. And throughout the whole trip, I was always lagging behind. So I couldn't believe, where did that energy come from? When I got home that night at 9 o'clock, because Doris told me 12 hours, I took the patch off and I got so tired. I was super excited to talk to Doris. I called her first thing the next morning. So she sent me Dr. Stacy's videos describing the different patches. And I looked at the video over and over multiple times. I committed myself to 6 months, 6 months on the patches. And then I did some calculations to see which was the best deal. So I decided on the diamond kit. Of course, it is the best deal. And I couldn't wait for the patches to arrive. I got the box in the afternoon. When I opened it up, the only one I thought I could put on was Eon. So I put that one on that night. And then X39 and on. I used all the patches. I started feeling, from being weak, I started feeling stronger. It made me feel happier. I napped a lot. 15 to 30 minutes seemed like a long time, even though it was a short cat nap. It was just the amount of energy that my body really needed to get me to get going again. I continued all my regular, my daily routine, which was babysitting, in addition to the treatment that I was going through. It was something that I needed to do to get my body stronger before I went into radiation treatment. So in the meantime, as I was waiting, I had some different things that I noticed. One of them was I used to have a rash come out off and on my hands, and it became very painful, cracking, bleeding, just very uncomfortable. And one night I just thought, oh, why don't I put a patch next to this blister that came out? And I did. When I woke up the next morning, the blister was gone. So I was amazed. And slowly the entire rash went away. I just couldn't believe it. So I got myself ready and I was going into radiation treatment. And in radiation, my very last treatment was a very, very harsh, very strong dosage. And I had very severe burns. And I worried about, just being able to tolerate it. But I wore the patches and every day was a good day. And when I finished the severe burn, which is like a day out in the sun for 5 days straight. But when I was done, in 3 days, the redness, the skin, it was all good. And I feel the patches were working the whole time on my body. So it was all cumulative in my body. And I was so happy that everything was completed. And then another amazing thing that happened was I had to go in for another appointment to be checked up. And the doctor looked at me and asked me when was I going to have surgery. And I looked at her and I said, I've already had the surgery. So she's checking me and she's asking me, when am I having the surgery? And the reason is because my body has already healed, that she can't tell that I've had surgery and it's done. And so she said, okay, so how many years ago has it been? And I said, it was just February of this year. So she was so amazed. I mean, I couldn't believe, how good my body had become with the patches.